In this video, we're going to test 3 different stride types for slow pitch softball, and we're going to hit into the radar gun. We got a Stalker radar set up, which is one of the best radar guns out there. And we're going to see once and for all if a large linear stride adds exit velocity, or if you had sort of a baseball style stride where you just pick your foot up and put it back down and you start relatively wide, where and how much power do we lose or gain, or does it not make a difference? Obviously, in slow pitch, you do have to supply a little more of your own power because the pitch ball is not going to supply as much. However, most of the power, as you see from like Major League Baseball, comes from the hips, and then it summates through the core and the upper body, and then finally through the bat. So we're going to test these 3 different stride types: a leg kick, a sort of slide, and then we're just going to start wide, pick the foot up and put it back down. And we'll see what the radar gun tells us about exit velocity here in slow pitch. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, that one I got good. Nice. All right, that's one good. Right. Well, I mean, again, like the big question is like, does it have, like, is getting all this momentum adding velocity? And like maybe, but you know, like that's a tick higher. But for me, most of my better ones are 90, 91, 92 max today. I'm not really losing anything without that momentum. Pretty good for no stride. Yeah, like I said, I think for me, I just leak a little bit the more movement I have. Like that one, I got under a little bit. All right, last one. I'm an enigma. So what are the implications and takeaways? Should you switch your stride to a more simplified one? I think that's the right thing for a lot of people who are inconsistent. Your hips open up too soon, or your hands tend to drop, or you tend to cast a lot. Having a simpler stride is probably going to help. I think I lose just a little bit of power with the leg kick because it has more moving pieces and there's more time for me to open up too soon in the air. You know, when you have these really dug out batter's boxes where you have 2 huge holes, that's like most of the fields that I play on in you know, municipal fields here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. You know, like the more movement you have, the more time you have to be inconsistent and not land at the exact same you know, point. That's why in these tests, when I just pick my foot and put it back down and I do the little short baseball stride, my hips, like everything is in the right position because I don't have time to screw it up. And I think that's something to be introspective about for you as a slow pitch softball hitter is if I just want more consistency, then how can I get my foot down before my hips have rotated? That's the big thing that's most important in getting power and being consistent getting barrel to ball. Now, again, I don't think that the linear stride has nearly as big of effect on your bat speed and power as people think it does in, you know, forums, on Reddit, all these different places. So I think in some ways, again, only a small sample size, but I think some ways that this video debunks that. Now, the biggest thing is just to continue to tinker for you, find out what you're comfortable with, because again, when the softball is being pitched, there's more variables. You're going to want to lunge at it more. So what stride type helps you keep your weight back and shift it at the right time? And how can you stay comfortable on different fields and all that sort of stuff? Because obviously I was hitting off a tee, and in a real game, it's different. So not huge conclusions here, but I do think this is important. Just try to pick people's brains and get you thinking about what's going to be best for you when you have all these different types of stride types and what tinkering is going to maximize your power and your consistency and your overall performance as a slow pitch softball hitter. All right, so thanks for watching. Leave a comment or question, and I'll see you here in the next video.